So what is the Goddess Sequence? The Goddess Sequence is a program that will be running over a year with women. And what we'll be doing is each month we'll be looking at a different goddess, Hindu goddess. And what we'll be doing is we try to find the qualities of the goddess within ourselves. We'll recognize the shadows of the goddesses, especially the goddesses that we actually relate to quite well. For those, we also will feel that the shadow side actually, that we relate to that. And we'll be looking at archetypes, and we'll be sharing with women about what we have learned and what we meet, all the darkness that we can find inside ourselves and all the lights that we can recognize. All of that is what we kind of will be talking about. It's a creative process where we might be writing, we might be drawing, all kind of in what we recognize in the goddess. So it's really a sharing practice. For each goddess, you'll receive a sequence, or two sequences actually, one yin sequence and one yang sequence that you can practice, or parts of it you can practice, just depending on kind of what you're up to in your practice or how you feel. It's really quite free. You'll get it written out, but you'll also have it in video. You'll receive meditations. You'll receive invitation for activities. And each month we have 2 sessions where we meet, either through Zoom or face-to-face. In that meeting we'll be practicing together, but we'll especially sharing our journey together. So this is really an invitation to learn more about yourself and to share with like-minded women. Yeah, so in preparing for the Goddess Sequence, I've learned so much already. I'm somebody who is much more in touch, or has always been much more in touch with my own masculine side. I have a technical degree. I've always worked for a long time, worked in IT management, and only much more later in life have I connected into my feminine side, and have I started to appreciate my feminine side. And that's also one of the reasons that I really like to look into these goddesses. Some of the goddesses that are really very feminine, and in a way they all are very feminine, I straight away recognize that I would struggle with them, like beauty and, and service towards the husband or the partner. Like that's something that I don't feel comes naturally to me. But with the goddesses, I've really tapped into the quality that comes from that, and the selflessness that comes from that, and the softness within myself. And I've really started to appreciate those qualities, to be able to serve but still be strong within yourself, which is something that I never really saw as something that is possible. I often thought that when you serve, when you're in a mother's role, in a role of the caretaker, that you kind of lose yourself. And I think actually now I've learned that it's something that is created, that vision is created from society, instead of kind of really allowing that quality to be celebrated. It's a little bit how a lot of jobs that women do are underpaid and are not valued the same way. That's not because these jobs are not more important. It's just that in society it has developed like that, and I think often women don't ask for the same wages. Often they are being supported by their partner, which is a bit of a strange idea actually when you look at it. Once you kind of see through it, it makes no sense. And so that's one of the things that I've learned from the goddesses. Another thing that I've really learned is to find more willingness and to allow myself to really look into my own darkness, into areas that I prefer not to go. And so the goddesses really have helped me to kind of go there. It feels like they've taken me by the hand and allowed me to just kind of explore without being scared of it and without feeling that I have to apologize for it. So yes, I really, really appreciate that. Yes, it has been a very creative process. Creating the flows, it feels like in my yoga journey, and I've been teaching for 20 years, it feels that everything that I've learned and everything that I've taken in and everything that I've taught over the last 20 years, that all of that comes together here almost a little bit like a live work. And it feels really beautiful that it becomes a completion. And the quality of the sequences, I think, is really very high because so much effort has gone into it. And it's not only the physical practice then, but it is really the mood of the goddess, the chakras that are related, the elements that are kind of related to that goddess. All of that has come together and then has become this physical kind of expression of the goddess. And so for me it feels really quite special to have that now as a big piece of work that has brought so many of my qualities together in one practice consisting of 11 practices and 11 yang practices and 11 yin practices. So everything seems to have come together, and it feels like a real celebration of the practice, where it is really, the physical is only just a tiny little part of it. It's all the time very much about the intention and overcoming your own limitations in order to become the goddess.